Hey everybody, it's Mike, and I'm back, and I'm going to talk about Hare Krishna. Give you an update on what's happening with the Hare Krishna Cult. Show my support for the Scientology protesting that's going on all over the world. So I'm with you on that, and talk about the abuses of the Hare Krishna cult, and then of course their festival that is going on all over the world this summer, or whatever part of the world you're in. It's going on for the next 3, 4, 5 months. So I'm going to talk about that. So I'm going to get into all of these things, and first, opening.
Hello.
Hey, okay. So, I'm going to talk about this festival. Okay, this festival is going on all over the world in all the major cities, and it kind of legitimizes this cult. It kind of gives them, credibility, because cities are authorizing this cult festival that attracts pedophiles from all over the world. Come to these festivals, and they take over, and it's just a big recruitment. It's just it has nothing to do with India at all, other than they stole this festival from India. But there's nothing Indian about it. I mean, it's Hare Krishna. It's all about Hare Krishna stuff. It's all cult stuff. It has nothing to do with. You don't learn. You go to you go to this festival, and you don't learn anything about India. You don't learn anything about India. All you learn about is Hare Krishna stuff. That's it. About their books, their guru, their mythology. There's nothing to do with India. You're not going to learn who the president of India is. You're not going to hear the history of India, or how India became a country, or leaders of India. You're not going to hear about Gandhi or anybody. Nothing. Nothing at all. And that's just the way it is. But most recently, hello there. Let's see. Who's here already? I can't get this. I can't get this to go. Oh, there we go. Hey, how you doing? Good day. Glad to see you're here. Melbourne, one of the cities where they just had their festival is Melbourne. Okay, so if you look at that, you go, wow, there's a lot of people there. They're a pretty good crowd. And you'd think, oh, that they're all Hare Krishnas. No, they're not all Hare Krishnas. That temple there in Melbourne, I think had a lot of people there. And ain't got a lot of people with. But probably every Hare Krishna that can travel is there. They come from all over. And then the rest of those people are just, there's an Indian community. That doesn't mean that there's Indians in the Indian community are Hare Krishnas. Most of them are not. I'd say 99% of them are not. The Indian, and it's probably a pretty good sized Indian community in Melbourne. Just like we have a pretty good sized Indian community in Los Angeles. But they're not Hare Krishnas. There's just a small percentage of them are Hare Krishnas. The rest of them are just Hindus or whatever they are. But they're not Hare Krishnas. But when the Hare Krishnas have their festival in Venice Beach, friggin' every Hindu, every Indian, and it seems like in California, comes to that festival in Venice Beach because it's an Indian, it's an Indian style festival. It's got Indian type food, Indian books, mythology, Indian statues and parade stuff. It looks like India, but it's all Hare Krishnas. They're not. It's Hare Krishnas. It's not Indians. It's actually it's usually European white people and white Europeans, white Americans, and some Indians, not that many, that are running the whole thing. It's not an Indian thing. But the Indians come out because they're like, hey, we don't care. It's to them, it's part of their culture, even though they're not in the cult. So that kind of legitimizes it as well. And then you got the public that's out there going, hey, what's this cool looking hippie thing? So you get all that mixed together, and it looks like it's a big festival, but it's totally deceiving. And I know because I went to the one in LA for 20 years. The one in LA, it's exactly what I just described. The temple in LA, there's not that many people in the LA temple. There's Hare Krishnas in LA, but there's not that many. There's a lot of Indians in LA. There's a whole little India neighborhood. And when the Hare Krishnas have a festival or something, a lot of those Indians come to the temple. But they're not Hare Krishnas. They're not in the cult. They're just celebrating something that resembles their culture. It doesn't even really resemble that. A lot of them know better. A lot of them know what it is, that it's a cult. A lot of them are just, hey, it's Krishna. But what it is a big recruitment. It's a big recruitment festival. This is where they sell their books. This is where they do all their preaching. This is where they make their new members. This is it for them. And this is just a people that tour around the country, tour probably similar to North America and Europe. It's probably a guy he's got the setup. He probably tours around all the Australian cities, and he brings. It's like a traveling carnival. It's like a traveling circus, scam circus, selling their books, selling their dangerous. And now it wouldn't be a big deal if it was just a carnival. But these people are racist. They're sexist. They're dangerous. They're And I'll get into that in a minute. But this is not what it seems in any way. And I know because I went to the one in LA for 20 years. There's a handful of help at the LA temple that mans the booths, hands out the food, hands out the books, sells the t-shirts, sells whatever. But there's a guy that's got 2 semi-trucks full of all this Krishna stuff. And he just travels around and charges people. I showed that in one of my last videos. How he goes and he's for sale. You just tell him, hey, I want you to come to my city, and you pay him the money, and he comes and he sets up his thing and wherever you want him to have it. Wherever you can get a permit for. And then all the Hare Krishnas come. And who are these Hare Krishnas? You don't even know who these people are that are out there putting on this festival. These people have no idea who these people are. I didn't have any idea who these people were. So nobody told me. Then I find out after I'm in there for like 19 years, like 18, 19 years. A bunch of people that I know, that I not just know, but I mean, I've been to their house, they've been to my house, or whatever. I know their name, they know my name. These people were involved in a famous court case where this underage girl ran away, went to the Hare Krishna temple, and these guys are hiding her out, driving her around from temple to temple, hiding this girl out from her parents. Her parents are looking for her. And these guys, these are grown men. These are grown men. I mean, I don't know how grown mentally they are, but they're, 21, 20, whatever years old. That's what these cult people do. And then it ended up, so they hide, goes to court. She wins money. They sue. Her and her family sued. They sued them for brainwashing her. And then they sued them for, false imprisonment or hiding her out. The parents sued for brainwashing. The girl sued, and she won. And that's part of the reason why they don't do that cult deprogramming anymore. She's part of the reason they don't do that in the United States anymore. They used to go around and grab people and just take them to a motel and deprogram them and go, what the fuck are you doing? You're in a cult. Your parents, and they'd hold them hostage for 3 or 4 days until finally they'd break. I'm sorry. Well, they can't do that anymore. But it all started from this girl. Because a cult took her and they were hiding her out. But anyway, I knew these guys. I knew like 4 of these guys that were involved in that court case. They were named as defendants in that court case. And I had no idea who these people are. One guy, not only was he involved in that court case, he went on to be a predator in the neighborhood, and I didn't know that either. I found it all out at the same. I didn't even know he was in the court case till I was researching the court case, and these people's names popped up in legal documents. I'm like, oh my goodness, I know who these people are. That's crazy. So these festivals, it looks these Hare Krishnas are just, you don't know who these people are? It could be one of the guys in there could be the guy that raped that girl behind the stage at the festival. A festival just like this. Raped a girl behind the stage. and then went on to go celebrate. He was never caught. He was never brought to justice. The guy that touched my little girl, my daughter, he was never brought to justice. The guy that touched that other little girl in the neighborhood, the predator, he's free to roam around. He's still there. That's just, it's crazy. So this is Baltimore, Maryland. So as you can see, all the men are together in a group. The men dance together in a group. You don't see any women in that group. It's all men together, dancing together. Because they're sexist. They don't want women joining in with the men. They don't want that. Women got to stay. Let me see if I can get this going here. Women got to stay together in their own group. They can't party with the men. So this is Dallas. All of these just happened. So this is all. So you can see the girls are together. They're dancing. Now again, a lot of the people in this crowd are Hindus and Indians from the community. They're not all Hare Krishnas. Now here you can see the women can dance together in a group. No men, so there's no mixing. It's all segregated. And that is because they don't want women around. Women are Maya. Women are the cause of problems. They're the cause of suffering. They're the cause of all the bad stuff. So they don't want they don't want women around. Women got to go dance by themselves. Leave the men to the men enjoy with other men, and women stick with the women. And they don't. It's a weird type of it's a weird kind of thing that goes on there, but these weirdos come from all over the world to come to these festivals, depending on who their friends are that live there, or if they've been to that city before, or whatever. But people will fly. They come in. They'll fly in from London and Paris or Australia or, South America, wherever. They go, well, I used to, back in the old days, I was in Dallas. So I always like to come to the Dallas Ratha Yatra. Or maybe they don't have to travel that far. They're from LA. They go, some devotees go all over. They go from LA to San Francisco, San Diego, Dallas, New York. They do like the Grateful Dead touring, like they're touring with the Grateful Dead. They follow this festival around, and they go all over. And again, you don't know who these people are that are at this festival. You don't know what's going on in that festival, in these crowds. Now, I never would have thought. I never would have thought that anything would happen in a crowd like this. But if you think about it, things happen in crowds all the time. And when I was in India with my daughter, there's crowds all over, and a lot of crowds. People get touchy feely in crowds, and people can get lost in crowds and things happen. But when this girl says that she got raped at a festival by one of the singers on stage, took her up the row behind the stage and then raped her, that just tells me that anything can happen anywhere, especially here. And I know that things can happen anywhere, like in the ashram or wherever. In the restaurant, in the ashram, at a festival. You got crowds. You've got people coming in from all over the world, from all over the country, and then bouncing out the next day or in a couple days. It's a recipe for disaster. I don't even know. So many things going on. You've got this racist, sexist, woman-hating, child marriage promoting cult that has such dangerous philosophy in their book that women are less intelligent, women like to be raped. You got a cult that teaches that women like to be raped, and then you got a big crowd like this? Is it any wonder that girl got raped at that festival? When that was all these people are, well, not all of these people, but these people that are putting on this festival, that's what the kind of stuff that they believe? That women are less intelligent, that 11-year-old girls need to be married, that women have no independence, black people belong in the jungle. Black people are stupid and drunkards and drug addicts. The only thing they're good for is to be Hare Krishnas. It's the only thing they're good for. Is to be a Hare Krishna. Prabhupada says we should capture them. Like a slave owner or something. We should capture them. The good ones. We can use the good ones. What kind of racist talk is that? Oh, he wasn't racist. Because he said that blacks could become his servants? That is crazy. He says black people belong in the jungle. They shouldn't have been given civil rights. They shouldn't have been given freedom. And then they say, well, Prabhupada wasn't racist because because Krishna is black. So you're saying Krishna was African? Or are you saying the statue is black? Because it says in the books Krishna was blue. And if you look at all the paintings and all the pictures, Krishna is blue. He's not black. He's not African. He doesn't have nappy curly hair. and look like a little African kid? Krishna doesn't look like a little African kid stealing butter. You gotta be out of your mind. Prabhupada wasn't racist because Krishna was black. Krishna was not black. He was blue. And if he looked black, it's because he described him as being black. He doesn't describe him as being African. Krishna wasn't African. Prabhupada was racist. He didn't even like dark Indians. And you know, the stuff that I say, you don't even have to take my word for it, because we've got let's see. We got the Hare Krishnas themselves. They describe okay. So this guy from the Hare Krishnas, and this is from his webpage. He's talking about he's forcing children to worship homosexuals and pedophiles as their messiahs is illegally corrupting the morals of minors, and is fraudulent, representing ISKCON's aim and object, says my legal pal. That's what he says, his imaginary legal pal. We have already belabored the point that the Bhakti Vikas Swami program has been sympathetic to the Mayapur abuser program, and Bhakti Vikas Swami has wrote in defense of Bhakti Vidya Purna Swami, one of the worst case child abusers. Bhakti Vikas Swami Pal Sivaram has also said we should acknowledge the great service of Bhakti Vidya Purna and even give him some monetary support. So even these guys that haven't really haven't molested any children themselves, they can't distance themselves from these guys that have, like I did. I couldn't do what I did. You have to leave the cult. It's a cult. When these guys are telling me that they got this guy out of jail, and then they went to his farm and they're palling around with him, and I'm like, no, he's a. What are you doing? Then they turn on me. They start telling me that I'm wrong and that he's right and that he's not. All this crap. You have to have a spot. You have to stand up for something. I don't. Well, it's a cult. We're talking about people that drop their kids off in a friggin' concentration camp so they could go play Hare Krishna and cosplay as a 16th century homosexual Bengali cross-dresser who thought he was God or something, dancing around. Now you're going to try and convince me that 11-year-old girls are perfect wives. And there's nothing wrong with that for a grown man to want an 11-year-old girl. That there's nothing wrong with that. And when I think back on that now, and I think of that conversation, I can't believe I was even having that conversation. I can't believe that there was this grown man, older than me, trying to convince me that 11-year-old girls are perfect age for a grown man to have as a wife. Because Prabhupada said so. Because Prabhupada did it. And he's trying to convince me in the year 2012 that that's perfectly okay. In 2012, we're not talking about 100 years ago in India where that was, everyone was doing that, which we're talking about now. In your mind, you're saying, you have to say that that's okay now because Prabhupada did it 100 friggin' years ago. And not everybody was, he could have said no. So these guys can't even say, look, man, I know you're a guru. I know we used to pal around and we used to chummy, buddy. And we used to shoot the shit and chop it up and all that crap. But you're molesting little girls and little boys, man. I can't deal with that. I'm cutting you off. I'm cutting you loose, dude. You can't do that. You can't do that. They still got to write letters and write articles about how these guys are, didn't do anything wrong. Because they don't think they're doing anything wrong. They honestly don't think they're doing anything wrong. Because these guys know that the gopis were 11 years old. They know what Prabhupada says in his books. Now, some guy who joined, or some woman who joins, gets in the ashram, she's in the Bhakta program. She's only been in for 2 years. How much? She's not a big reader. Doesn't read a whole lot. So she's just reading at the temple when they read a verse, a purport, couple verses, purports, couple purports a day, couple a day. Maybe at night she reads Krishna book. Maybe throughout the day she reads a little bit. She chants. She cooks in the kitchen. Or sews, makes deity clothes, or goes out on Sankirtan and sells books, parking lot. She hasn't read a whole lot. I was in for 20 years. I read the entire Lilamrita, the entire Bhagavatam, the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Nectar of Devotion, the Nectar of Instruction, all of the books, Science of Self-Realization. All of them. Every single book. I was a reader. I was reading. And then when the shit came out digitally on the internet and the videos on DVD and all the lectures, shit, there was so much crap to read and listen to and watch. And then I'm subtitling and I'm doing all this stuff, man. And I'm hearing stories from people. I wasn't living in the ashram. I wasn't doing 2 verses a day and then just hearing from the bhakta leader and the temple president and whatever they're talking about in the temple room. That's why most of these people don't even know what's going on. They come in and they leave before they even find out. They don't even know that there's child molestation going on. They don't know that these gurus fell down. They don't know that they got their heads chopped off. They don't know that the guys ran off with a little girl. They don't know that the guy was banging little boys in Mayapur and in Vrindavan and getting blowjobs from taxi drivers and Salochan getting shot in his van. And they don't know this stuff. Little girls getting raped behind the stage at a festival. They don't even know that Lokanath Swami is touching a little girl. And it was the big cover-up of the century. And now he's such a big guru that they make it like, well, then none of that's ever even true. They try to pretend like it never even happened. Like, people can't even believe it. Like, oh, it's all fake. No, it's not. The girl's growing up. They don't even want to believe her. Same thing with the guys that killed the devotee in his van. It's been so long. These guys, one guy's in jail, but everybody else got off free. So they act like, well, they weren't involved in it. They're somehow saintly people now. Although the guy got paid, they were going to run him out of the country. Had a weapon, got rid of the weapon. All of these things that was going on. But they couldn't get anybody else. They couldn't get anybody else. In all the people that were involved, they couldn't get anybody else. They just got the one guy. These guys are still out there. And they got followers. That's who these people are. That's who comes to these festivals. That's the kind of people that this cult creates. It creates these people. These people are not attracted to this cult. Normal people with an open mind go to a festival. Oh, what's that? What's that thing? What's going on over there? They go there to get a book, talk to some weirdo, get a book. They go home, they smoke a joint, open up the book. Yeah. Put it down. Friend comes over, he picks up the book, he reads, he goes, hey, I like this book. Can I have it? Guy goes, yeah, you can take it. That shit. Guy goes home, he looks at it, he reads it. I kind of like this. I kind of say it's kind of. I'm gonna go check it out. I'm gonna go to the temple and check it out. Oh, they got vegetarian food? Oh, cool. Have me some vegetarian food. Meet somebody there. Talks to them. Oh, I see you got a book. Yeah, a friend of mine gave me this. Oh, wow, you're fortunate you got that book. You know, not everybody. And it starts in. Oh, really? Yeah, you know, you're lucky you got that book because, you know, a lot of people can't understand that book. Goes right over their head, you know, but you got it. You got the book. So that's good. I'm glad. And now you're here? Man, that's really that you wow. Really? What did I do? I just got a book. I got it somewhere. Oh no, you don't understand, but anyway. It's Krishna's mercy. Keep reading the book, you'll understand. Guy comes back next week. A month later, guy's hooked. Just like the guy that got a book at a funeral or whatever, and he got a book at a funeral, and then he became a Hare Krishna. He became a devotee, and Next thing you know, he's in India, and he is milking a cow somewhere. So, let me see.
Today I'm going to tell you
Story time.
a lovely story, an ancient story, and a very popular one when I was growing up. So sit tight and enjoy it. This one's called Lord Balaram and Yamuna Devi. Since the season was springtime, the breeze on the bank of the Yamuna was blowing very mildly, carrying the aroma of different flowers, especially the flower known as kaumudi. Moonlight filled the sky and spread everywhere, and thus the banks of the Yamuna appeared very bright and pleasing, and Lord Balaram enjoyed the company of the gopis there. The demigod known as Varuna sent his daughter Varuni in the form of liquid honey oozing from the hollows of the trees. Because of this honey, the whole forest became aromatic, and the sweet aroma of the liquid honey, Varuni, captured Balaramaji. Balaramji and all the gopis became very much attracted by the taste of Varuni, and all of them drank it together. While drinking this natural beverage, all the gopis chanted the glories of Lord Balaram, and Lord Balaram felt very happy. Of course he did. As if he had become intoxicated by drinking the Varuni beverage. His eyes rolled in a pleasing attitude. He was decorated with long garlands of flowers, and the whole situation appeared to be a great function of happiness because of his transcendental bliss. Lord Balaram smiled beautifully, and the drops of perspiration decorating his face appeared like soothing morning dew. How lovely! While Balaram was in that happy mood, he desired to enjoy the company of the gopis in the water of the Yamuna. Therefore he called the Yamuna to come nearby, but the Yamuna neglected the order of Balaramji, considering him intoxicated. Lord Balaram became very much displeased at the Yamuna's neglecting his order. He immediately wanted to scratch the land near the river with his plowshare. Lord Balaram has two weapons, a plow and a club, from which he takes service when they are required. This time he wanted to bring the Yamuna by force, and he took the help of his plow. He wanted to punish the Yamuna because she did not come in obedience to his order. He addressed the Yamuna. "You wretched river, you little whore, you did not care for my order, bitch. Now I'll teach you a lesson. You did not come to me voluntarily. Now with the help of my plow, I shall beat the fuck out of your face. I shall divide you into hundreds of scattered screams and just beat the shit out of you because that's what you deserve, you little bitch." When the Yamuna was threatened like this, she became greatly afraid of the power of Balaram and immediately came in person, falling at his lotus feet and praying thus, "Oh my God, honey, I'm so sorry. I know I'm like a stupid little whore and you're like my overlord master, and I should have just done what you said because I'm just a stupid woman and I don't know anything. I forgot your glorious, exalted position, and now I have come to my senses, because I'm a stupid woman. And I remember that you hold all the planetary systems on your head and some shit like that. You are the sustainer of the whole universe. Let me now, feed your ego with lots of praise and bullshit so that you don't beat the fuck out of me, because I'm just a stupid woman." Because I forgot your omnipotence, I have mistakenly disobeyed your order like the stupid whore that I am. And thus I have become a great offender. Please don't beat the shit out of me. But my dear Lord, please know that I am a soul surrendered unto you. I literally have nowhere else to go. And I can't call the cops or anything because you're like the Supreme Lord. So you're just going to keep beating on me and I'm just going to have to be your bitch for the rest of your life and my life. You are very much affectionate to your devotees, therefore please excuse my impudence and mistakes, and by, your causeless mercy, may you now release me from this shitty life that I'm living. Just fucking kill me, please. I can't live like this anymore. Upon displaying this submissive attitude, the Yamuna was forgiven, and when she came nearby, Lord Balaram enjoyed the pleasure of swimming in her water, along with the gopis in the same way that an elephant enjoys himself along his many she-elephants. Basically a pimp and his bitches, you know what I'm saying? After a long time, when Lord Balaram had enjoyed his full satisfaction, he came out of the water, and immediately a goddess of fortune offered him a nice blue garment and a valuable necklace of gold, because she was so scared that if she didn't do that, he'd beat the shit out of her too. Huh, isn't he the greatest man ever? After bathing in the Yamuna, Lord Balaram, dressed in blue garments and decorated with golden ornaments, looked very attractive to everyone. Of course, they all said he was hot, because if they didn't, he'd probably beat the shit out of them too. Lord Balaram's complexion is white, and when he was properly dressed, he looked exactly like a white elephant of King Indra and the heavenly planets. The river Yamuna still has many small branches due to being scratched by the plowshare of Balaram. Scratched. What they're trying to say is that the bitch is still scarred. No biggie, just domestic violence. It happens. And all these branches of the Yamuna still glorify the omnipotence of Lord Balaram. That big macho guy. Lord Balaram and the gopis enjoyed transcendental pastimes together every night for 2 months. Boy, he fucked those bitches good. And time passed so quickly that all those nights appeared to be only one night. Oh my gosh. In the presence of Lord Balaram, all the gopis and other inhabitants of Vrindavan became as cheerful as they had been before the presence of both brothers, Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. Yay! This story is a wonderful story that's told to young girls and boys and to all of the Hare Krishnas and to whoever is interested in Lord Balaram's pastimes. And it is the most perfect example of how ISKCON just loves to glorify domestic violence. Yay! I hope you enjoyed this story, and stay tuned for more stories about Krishna and Balaram and how lovely they are. Bye! Hey kids!
So yeah, that's a good example of what's in these books that they are selling at this festival. Stories just like that, stories of domestic violence and teaching women to be submissive to men and to accept violence towards women and children, because of course these gopis were 11 years old. That's one of the things that we have to remember, that the gopis were 11. A lot of stories just like that, even worse than that, are in these books. Also, the racism and just the brainwashing, of course. So you get a book, and then the next thing you know, you're in India, you're milking a cow, you're initiated into this cult, worshiping some guru who is protecting a pedophile, who writes articles and parties around and pals around with pedophiles. Like, if the guy had an Epstein Island, they'd all be hanging out there. They don't care. They don't care about the women. They don't care about the children. They don't care about their own disciples. They can't be honest with them. And believe me, it was a big deal for me to leave this cult. So you can imagine these gurus. They don't want to leave. They don't want to lose out on their meal ticket, on their flying around the world and eating nice food, having people cook for them, having people wash their clothes, and make all their travel plans. They get to tour around, go to London, go to Melbourne, go to the Ratha Yatra in Melbourne, go to Dallas. These gurus flying around the world, living a good life. Servants. Even that guy in L.A., he had 2 boys living with him in the ashram. This guru was living with 2 boys in an apartment. Boys, they were 19, 20. Guru was probably in his 40s. Got 2 young 19, 20-year-old boys living with him. They're all cosplaying like they're I don't know, man. That was pretty weird. Who knows what was going on? Something was going on. Well, first of all, the guy was gay. The guru was gay. That was so obvious to everybody that this guru was gay. And he had two young boys living with him in the LA temple that are washing his clothes and cooking his food and doing all of his, running his, doing whatever he want. He owned them, pretty much. If he needed anything, they're right there. Pretty good gig. Guy doesn't have to go to work. Doesn't do nothing. And he was just a small time nobody guru in L.A. He wasn't no big, but these gurus are big time. Flying around the world. This one guy, this Bhakti Vikash Swami, he flies around. London, Africa, India, South America. He does like a whole world tour. The other guy too. They all these big shots do. Flying around like they're the Dalai Lama. Like they're the Dalai Lama. Like they're the Pope. Like they're the Pope. Just friggin' ridiculous. I'm not saying the Pope. Take it what you want, but it's friggin' ridiculous. These gurus. At least the Pope is not preaching like he's preaching like peace and love and stuff. These Hare Krishnas are not. This stuff is not harmless stuff. Women like to be raped. Domestic violence is okay. 11-year-old girls should be married. Women shouldn't go to school. Have independence. Have self-determination or anything like that. They're against that. They want little 11-year-old girls to get married. 20, 22, 25-year-old men. And they're spreading that stuff around at these festivals? Seriously, that's what this is. She's saying the same thing I'm saying. She grew up in it. She grew up in it. She heard it day and night. Krishna stories. Reading the books. She came to her senses. She said, what the hell is this? In the same way that they disguise this sex orgy as this spiritual rasa dance where Krishna expands into different, and they do all that, and they don't want to tell you they're telling you what's really going on, but it's same thing with this Jamuna story. Jamuna didn't jump high enough or long enough or fast enough when Balaram said, Balaram flew off the handle and Jamuna, I'm sorry. It sounded like Narayan and his wife. How he's threatening her and beating her every night, and she's on the internet talking about how great he is. Probably because she's afraid that if she didn't, he'd beat her some more. It's exactly what that story sounds like. Sounds like what was going on with Narayan and his wife, and I sure hope she's okay. And that little boy or girl or whatever they are, I don't know what they had. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it was a little boy with long hair, or it was a little girl that, I don't know. It was a baby. So you know, I don't know, 1, 2 years old, can't really tell if it's 1 year old, 2 years old. You can't really tell if it's a boy or a girl like that. They look so I don't know. They got these Krishna names that are totally can go either way. You don't know. So, but that little girl, little boy, whatever, is teenager now. 14, 15 years old. I hope that little girl, little boy is okay. And I hope, what was her name? I forget what her name was. I don't remember what her name was, but I hope she's okay. Because she was married to Narayan, and he was like Balaram. He was a... Hello, who is this? The Holy Rogue. Hello, how you doing? So, so you want to stay away from this Ratha Yatra festival, and you need to warn people to stay away from this Ratha Yatra festival. It's coming to a city or town near you. It's going to take over the main area in your city. In LA, it's Venice Beach on August 3rd or 4th or whatever it is. And it's just a big cult recruitment festival. It has nothing to do with India. It's just cult stuff. So, and let me just say, I'm going to finish up here about. I want to tell you about something that was going on that I just found out about. Let's see, where is it? I can't find it right now. But it was about kids. Is this it here? Okay, so it says here, and hey, Holy Rogue, nice to meet you too. I'm thanks for stopping by. So again, this is coming from the Hare Krishna webpage, from a Hare Krishna devotee who's still a Hare Krishna, and even though all of this stuff is happening and going on, they can't break away. They just can't break away. They just cannot break away. So the child molesting was horrific, and it's still horrific. It's still going on. Nothing's changed. This stuff is still happening. It's not like this stuff has stopped. So there was a report in the UK. According to this report, predators began to operate in the UK, and the report was saying that children 4 to 5 years old were being overcome with chloroform and being mistreated. And so one of these gurus covered it up and somehow used... somehow hypnotized to try to get these kids to forget what happened. Now, this is just what they're saying. Now, I don't It sounds crazy, but if you know what's happened in the Hare Krishnas and what's happened in the past, it doesn't sound crazy. It doesn't sound crazy to me. I mean, it does sound crazy to me, but it's the Hare Krishnas. I've heard worse stuff. I don't know. I don't know if there's worse. I don't know if there's worse than this, but I've heard stuff pretty bad. Look, raping a little girl behind the stage at a Ratha Yatra festival or at a Krishna festival, and then getting back up on stage and singing like nothing happened, is pretty friggin' disgusting. Okay, so he says the children are still very traumatized, even though they're adults now. Okay. There was a girl, she was like 14 years old. She was going on dates with one of the gurus in LA. And he says here, the girl who was going on dates with Rameshwar said she was being fully exploited. But adults knew something was off when Rameshwar would drop her off at the girls' ashram at 4 a.m. But they never did anything. So everybody in the community that knew what was going on, they didn't do anything. And then he leaves the community and he comes back. Now he's back. They just let him come back. Guy's back. He could turn up at one of these Ratha Yatra festivals, and then you got this predator guy who's known in the past to have exploited this 14-year-old girl. And he was a grown man. It wasn't like he was 16. He was a grown man dating a 14-year-old. Dating. Come on. He was raping her. She wasn't old enough to consent, so it's rape. He was raping her. Dating. She may have been consenting. Still, he was still raping her. These are the kind of people that people like Rameshwar show up at these festivals. Bhakti Vikas Swami, the guy who defends these pedophiles, he shows up at these festivals. Guys who were involved in the murder of Salochan, they show up at these festivals. Guys that support these murderers show up at these festivals. Guys that go out and intimidate and beat up and harass devotees, like the people in the LA temple who are fighting with women, grown men that are fighting with women and tackling them and abusing them in public. Go to these festivals. Guys that have molested little girls in the community, have never faced justice for it, go to these festivals. The guy singing on stage at one of these festivals could be a rapist. Because we know of at least one girl who was raped by one of these singers at one of these festivals. Never brought to justice. And all these people that know what's going on. Not all of them know, but the ones that do know, they don't care. They don't care. It's like the temple president in LA. He didn't care that my daughter was molested. He didn't care. He had an opportunity to kick the guy out of the community, but he didn't do it. He said, I can't kick him out. Why? You kick a lot of people out. You've asked people to go because they smoke cigarettes, because they eat meat, for whatever reason. Breaking regulative principles, whatever friggin' reason you want. You kick people out all the time. But the guy that molested my daughter, all of a sudden, oh, your hands are tied? You can't kick somebody out because they smoke cigarettes, but you managed to do that. That person didn't have a trial and a conviction. Trial and conviction for what? Smoking a cigarette? But you sure kicked those people out. But a child molester, you can't kick him out of the community? The other guy that molested the little girl, he's walking around like he owns the place? You can't tell him to move? You can't live here anymore? Temple president's wife, everybody that works in the temple, they all know who the guy is, because if the temple president knows, and everybody else seems to know. Nobody cares. Nobody in the whole community cared that they had two child molesters in living right there, and nobody cared except me. And when I speak up and say something, that I'm the bad guy, and nobody came to my defense. That's who's at these festivals. That's the kind of people that are at these festivals. The kind of people at these festivals that if something happened to your daughter or your son, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. Your daughter comes and say, hey, that man over there touched me, grabbed me. And you go and you try to confront him or complain, and everybody turns on you? Just some creepy guru putting his hands all over your kid? Like that video that I showed, that guy putting his hands all over some little girl, some little 8-year-old girl? And all the people there just standing around watching. Women standing around mother. The mother's sitting right there. She didn't do nothing. This guy's practically fingering this little girl. I mean, practically. He's got his hands all... It's disgusting. I'll tell you right now, they wouldn't let me put my hands on that little girl like that. But this guru guy can sit there and run his hands all over this little girl's body like it's nothing. And nobody says a word. But I'll tell you what, if I was doing it, they'd have me fucking arrested. This guy does it on videotape. People are filming with a camera, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Just like the guy raped the girl at the festival and didn't care. He didn't care that they were at a festival and he's having sex with her behind the fucking bleachers or whatever. And then he goes back and sings on stage like nothing happened because he didn't give a shit. This guru sitting there, surrounded by half a dozen people, freaking 3 or 4 women. The mom, he's got this little 8-year-old girl. He's got his hands all over. He's rubbing all over her body. The little girl's like, and everybody's just sitting there, standing there, sitting there like it's normal. The most disgusting thing I've ever seen. The mom is not doing a thing. The other ladies aren't doing anything. The guys aren't doing anything. And the guru's just having a friggin' ball. Touching on this little girl. And everybody's just watching. And videotaping it. That's who these people are. That's who these people are, having their friggin' festival, pulling the friggin' cart down the road at Venice Beach and Fifth Avenue and Central Park and Golden Gate Park and wherever. That's who these people are. They don't care about kids. They don't care about women. They don't care about anybody. It's all fine and dandy as long as you're going along with all this crap. But as soon as you stand up and go, hey, wait a minute, man, molesting little kids is wrong, then you become the problem. That's who these people are. Go to one of these festivals and ask about the child molestation and all. They'll run you out of there. They don't want to talk about that. All the gurus that have fallen down, all the child molestation that's going on today. They're gonna go, oh, that shit's in the past. That shit in the past. That shit's happening today. That shit is happening today. In Italy today. In India today. In LA today. Around the world today. That's who's at these festivals. Think I'm exaggerating because I'm saying, oh, these pedophiles coming from. I'm telling you the truth. You don't know who these people are. They go by names, such and such Das, and this Das, and that Das, and that Das, and you don't know who their real names are. I've known people for years, and I didn't know who their real names. I only knew their Krishna name. Radhakunda Das. His name is Robert something, but I don't know his name. Janardana, I don't know his real name. Sri Maya, I don't know his real name. Yashodanandan, I know his name. I know his real name. All these other guys, I don't know their name. Guys that I've known for 10 years, I don't know their name. But I'd see them all the time. Guys at the LA Temple president. And all those guys at the temple. I don't know their real name. They go through life and you don't even know who they are. Skipping around from temple to temple. Oh yeah, I was in Hawaii for a while. Now I'm in LA. I'm gonna go to Dallas. And I was in New York for a while, and then I was in Montreal. And You're skipping around the country, skipping around the world. You know it's like Radha. He's in Bangkok, then he's in LA, then he's in Badger, then he's in India. Guy was a total scammer. I mean, he was a nice guy, but he's a total scammer. Skipping around the country because he's scamming people everywhere. Gotta keep it moving. Rolling stone gathers no moss. And that's who these people are that come to these festivals. So you got to be careful. You go to these festivals, you don't know what's going to happen. And then you say, well, you don't know what's going to happen. And then you know, people get sucked up in the books and the lectures and all of the food. And next thing you know, I'm telling you, every year, these festivals, they wouldn't do these festivals if this wasn't their big thing, their big money making, book selling, recruitment. If they can get a dozen people to become buyers, buying books, buying incense, buying whatever, going to the temple, going to the restaurant, buying food, buying whatever, it's worth it for them. Out of a dozen people that become buyers, 2 or 3 actually join. This is the purpose of this whole thing. Recruit new people. Recruit new people in, sell books, sell whatever, and get new people in, exploit the masses of people so they can become racist, sexist, extremists. Like the Taliban, like ISIS. Take rights away from women, to abuse women, abuse children, abuse everybody. And of course, once people fall into this cult and they start to believe that there's a demon head eating the moon and that 11-year-old girls make great wives and women are less intelligent and women like to be raped and black people should stay in the jungles and black people shouldn't be have any civil rights, that they're just drunkards and drug addicts, and if you build a library they'll just go there for drinking. Start to believe all that stuff. They believe this stuff. They start to treat women horribly, neglect their children, put their kids in a boarding school, and not care what happens to them. Well, they go off to go play Hare Krishna. They're going to go cosplay. What do I need to lug my kids around for? Or they lug their kids off to India with them. And then when the kids are old enough, they stick them in the friggin' concentration camp. They stick them in the school where the kids are abused. This is what's happening. This is what this cult does. It creates mentally ill people that the women are messed up. The women are like, oh, I have bad karma. I'm a woman. I'm a bad person because I was born as a woman. So I have to suffer as a woman. and take all the shit that all the men have to give. I just have to take it all. It is a messed up. It is a messed up cult, but I'm gonna call it quits right there. You don't want to get messed up in this cult. You don't want to go to a festival. You don't want to go to a restaurant. You don't want to have anything to do with these people. I was recently on vacation, and I was in a place far from home, and lo and behold, Hare Krishnas are there, and they got a restaurant. They got a Govinda's restaurant, and I see the Hare Krishnas there. I don't go there. I'm not going in there. But I see they got a little temple restaurant right in the center where all the shops and restaurants and bars and places are. They're right there. And then as I'm walking to my hotel, I see another shop, has nothing to do with anything, but the guy's a Hare Krishna. I see he's got the beads, he's got the bag, he's got the whole thing. And he's there. And I said to myself, there's a little community of Hare Krishnas right here. That's interesting to know. So you don't know where you're going to be, where you're going to find these cult people. You'll find them anywhere. So I want to thank you all, everyone, for watching. I hope you learned something. Stay away from the Hare Krishna. Stay away from their festivals that are happening all over the world for the next 3 or 4 months. There's going to be a lot of these festivals everywhere. So everybody, please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy your day or your evening. Have a great day, evening, a great morning, night, whatever. And have some great luck. Everybody, stay out of a cult. And thanks, everybody.